was just such an honor. I feel so privileged to be the singer of this song, because I've lived it in my own way. And I feel like this story is beyond, anything anyone who's walked a similar path could ask for, as far as representation goes, as far as just that authentic feeling of being seen and heard for who you are and where you come from and where you want to go. And I think the where you want to go part is like the hustle that comes from coming where we come from. There's so many things in our journeys alone, individually, that have probably put us in a position to feel like maybe we can't, maybe this isn't the way. And in reality, if we listen to those like things and not to the fire inside of us that was like, no, you can do it, we wouldn't be here. So for me, it was just like, man, it feels like the perfect way to start your day and end your day with this song. And it's an anthem, absolutely. And she wrote it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it is an anthem because it is about what the song and it's such a beautiful movie, and Richard Montañez's story. So the song has a double meaning. It's flaming hot because you eat a lot of Cheetos.
You're gonna get a fire inside.
You're gonna get a fire inside, whether you want to or not. But the fire inside is passion, when you have passion, you have a dream. Everything's that's going to try to stop it. There'll be obstacles here, everywhere. Your passion's going to just burn it down. And all three of us sitting here have created ourselves with the passion inside, with the fire inside, right? With that thing, because the odds are stacked against us. Really, think about it. We didn't have family, none of us that go
pursued these things,
that gave it to us, right? We all had to earn it by sheer hustle, by sheer hard work, by sheer talent. And I feel I'm so blessed. I'm so lucky that I got that. First of all, that Eva let me write the song to her awesome movie, and that Becky sang it, because there's no one better to sing this song. And I keep hearing from people, this is their wake up song. Even people who haven't seen the movie, I'm like, you better see the movie. But it's just so inspiring. You hear that song and you hear Becky sing it, and you're singing it from your heart because you've lived it.
What's so funny is Becky inspired the music video with one of her stories, and it just mirrored kind of the journey that Richard went on, but also like that we all go on. We have all been hustlers in our life, and still are. This is hence why we're here. But nothing's been given to us, and we kind of have fought for everything that we want to accomplish. And Becky told me a story that when she was young, she would sell Flaming Hot Cheetos at school. And she'd buy like a big pack, and then she'd go sell them at school. And I thought, oh my God, that's how the video's opening. When she told me that story, I said, that's how the music video's opening. So that's that young Becky G, who's like, I'm just hustling, but I got bigger dreams. And when that little girl morphs into present day Becky, you go, wow, who would have thought that little girl would become this icon and this amazing singer. And it was funny because I've known Becky for a while, and I've been a fan of hers, but it's been like 3 years since we've shot this movie. And when we were like, oh, we want Becky, she's had like a monster last 3 years in like parallel to this film. And we're like, oh my God, we're never going to get her because she's been like just kicking ass everywhere in the world. And then we sent... Yeah, and I was like, Becky, you gotta do it. And then she watched the movie, and like all of us, I originally read Richard's story, and I was like, oh my God, I am Richard Montañez. I've been told no. I've been told ideas don't come from people like you. Stay in your lane. And then, I remember hiring my DP, and he's like, oh my God, I'm Richard Montañez. People go, oh, he can't do that movie. He can't shoot that style of movie. He can't. And he wants to prove them wrong. And then I showed the movie to Dan. Dan's like, oh my God, I'm Richard Montañez. Like all of us. And then Becky saw the movie 3 times in a row. When I sent it to her, I was like, see if you even like the film before you even listen to the song. Like, just see if this vibes with you. And she was like, oh my God, this is my story. Like the fact that one story can resonate with so many different walks of life was pretty astounding. And Diane and I, from the beginning, were like, we got to shoot the music video. We got to shoot the music video. We knew it was going to be another, just an extra tool to broaden out this song that goes beyond the film. Like the song really encompasses what the film's about and the essence of the film, but outside of it, I love songs that stand outside of it as well. Like you could hear this on the radio and go, oh my God, I love that song, not even knowing it's tied to this film, because it's so good and profound, and it's catchy, and then Becky's like singing the shit out of it. So it's like, it's really, I mean, the genius that Diane is, and to have her on this project and her talent is like, I was like, oh my gosh, we've got Diane Warren. And then Diane and I were like, Becky G, she's like, done. And I was like, yes, I know we'll get Becky because it's Diane, right? Like, I was like, nobody says no to Diane Warren.
When I saw the movie, I knew in my head like the kind of song I was going to write, which had that reggaeton. So I had like, I just working, kind of came up with a drum kind of pattern that fit what I want to do, and then I immediately came up with that chorus. Nothing can hold you back, no one can kill your vibe when you got the fire inside. I got so excited by just that, and I came up the rest of the chorus, and it's kind of figuring out how to tell the story to get there. But I knew I had a hit. I knew I had something great, and I called you like right guy, Eva. She's like, oh God, what do you want? No, what do you no? and then.
You know what's so funny is we were in
Italy.
We were in Italy. Because I screened it for her. She knew what the song was to be called, and she was already working on it. And then we both had to go to Taormina Film Festival because we had another movie there that Diane wrote the song for with Sophia Carson, and she played it for me on her phone. The rough. She's like, listen to this, and it was so hot. It was so hot, but I was. The fire inside. No, but you played for me, and I remember crying, just crying, listening to the iPhone like this, and I was like, because of the words. Like for me, it was the words. Yeah, it was her temp track. I know it was not bad. It was big. Yes. And I was like, oh my God, this is so beautiful. This is Diane. I would think, oh my God. And I, again, imagining Becky singing it, I was like, oh, like I could just see the whole thing. And, but yeah, Diane and I were like, we need to do a music video. And I love, from last kind of award circuit, I loved that Rihanna song from Black Panther, which used so much of the movie footage within that song, and I was like, I do want to see the movie footage, and I want to kind of not reshoot, but recreate some of those scenes on Hollywood Boulevard, in the thick of the barrio, right? Mm-hmm. Like that's where Richard's stomping grounds were. I mean, he's from east of East LA, mm-hmm. But he's an LA guy. Like he's just LA through and through, and so to have the community, all those guys, all the extras, everybody was from the community. All the cars, all the little ride cars we had were from the community, and then to have Becky there just in the center of it, and people going, yeah, we all just felt like at home.
I was literally gonna say it was this feeling of home.
Yeah.
It captured the hustle, the unity, and the fire. That is everything. Esquina's my last album. Was kind of my reaching point of getting, it's so weird. So I have this thing in my head where I think that, we are born as our truest self, and then a lot of the conditioning that happens in society, once you get to this place in your life where you're like, but who am I really? You start to unlearn what you're not to become who you've always been deep down inside. And I think for us as Chicanos, we have for so long we have this pride, my primos would come from Mex and they'd ask me, ¿Y tú qué eres? And I'd be, soy mexicana, tú no eres mexicana, tú eres americana. I'd get so offended, I'd get so sad. I'd be like, but what do you mean? But I am, because when I'm here, they tell me I'm Mexican, but when I'm there, they tell me I'm American, so what am I? And it was just this, what felt like this lifelong identity crisis until you just decide, no more. Yeah. And I think that that's where we are right now, where we're enough of telling us we're not enough. Because the fact that we're, told that you're half and half actually makes me feel that, this feeling of why do I have to give up a part of myself to be accepted here, and then give up another part of myself to be accepted there, when I am just 100% proud to be Mexican and 100% proud to have been born and raised in LA, And so I think that's kind of where we are with, the Chicano culture has obviously been around forever, and it's influenced so many things from fashion to music, the beauty space, absolutely. But I think we're just in a place now where instead of it just being used by others, we're really ready to embrace it in a way that isn't us trying on a costume or us pretending to be something that we're not. We're just getting back to who we've always been deep down inside, and I think that pride is what comes through in this project.
Becky and I have the exact same upbringing. I'm a Texican, so I'm from Texas, and so same thing. you're American when you go to Mexico, you're Mexican when you come here, and we're 60%, 65% of the Latino population. So the Chicano culture is alive and vibrant. And this was a love letter. This film was a love letter to the Mexican American community, because normally you don't see us in this complexity. You don't see a hero on screen, and Hollywood gets to define what heroes look like, and they never look like us. And so for me to have the opportunity to go, no, I want a hero to look like my dad and sound like my tío, that was an honor and a responsibility that I took very seriously. And authenticity was my North Star with the film. And so just being authentic, even to like the rhythm in which we talk, like the writing and the actors, and couldn't be a caricature. And our portrayal of cholos was painted with like a brush of love and complexity, when you only see those stereotypes in other people's films from a different point of view and perspective that is not our own. And so Linda Chavez was our writer. She's Chicana also, from LA, Bell Gardens. And she was amazing. We both we knew exactly what we needed this film to be, not only for us and for our own community, but for others to see us in a different light. And it was a big undertaking, and a big educational process, to the studio, to the casting, to all of that, of like, no, it's got to be this. And luckily I had, Searchlight was on board with all of it, like from the music to the casting to behind the scenes to department heads. I was like, it has to be these things. And they're like, okay, So yeah, for us, we don't get these movies. We never get these opportunities in film. The last film directed by an American Latina was 23 years ago. And you're like, we can't get a film every 23 years. So many people in screenings go, oh my God, this reminded me of La Bamba or Selena. I go, yeah, because those are the only references you have. Like those movies are 25 years old. Like they don't, it's so we knew the responsibility when we were making the film, that we had to get it right. We had zero room for error, and we knew it was gonna have success, because only success speaks to this industry, right? That they go, oh, okay, your people showed up, let's make another. And Diane and Becky are a huge part of that, because the song a lot of times is the entryway for people to go, what movie is that? What film is that? I like that song and I like what it means. Oh, that's what the movie is about. And so Diane's genius in her songwriting is like capturing the essence of, a 96-minute film into 3 minutes. That really tugs at your heart, and Becky singing the shit out of it. It's like also like, oh, got it. Okay. Yes, this is something special.
It's funny, I was telling her before this that I was jealous of everybody who got to act in the film, because I was like, oh, they all got to have you as, their director. And then when she was like, I'm going to direct the music video, I was like, oh, I'm so excited to experience her as my director. There's a song. Hey. I know, right? I was like so excited to experience her as my director in the music video. And so seeing her like in her flow and in her rhythm and her ability to pivot, it started raining randomly. Yeah. And she's just like, no, we got the take. Let's move on. Let's get it going. Like seeing her be a shot caller, seeing her be even a mom on set too at the same time. I'm like, my girl is limitless. She really is just such a great example. And also just her availability to be there for whatever. I mean, I've called her about other projects and things just to be like, hey, I need some guidance here. I was thinking about this. What do you think? And I think it's that collaborative, energy that just, it's an invitation to constantly like learn more, and who better to learn from than someone like her. So yeah. That's for me. Yeah.
But you know what? I mean, like this is for me what I do. I'm so old, so I love that the younger generation is coming up and wanting to do more than stay in their lane. I mean, she's not just a singer. She's going to be an amazing actress. She's going to be an amazing producer. And I think we need 20 more Evas, 100 more Evas, that are getting behind the camera in whatever capacity, whether you're going to write or direct or produce, whatever it is. But it's about telling stories from our perspective, not even our stories. It's about telling a story from our perspective, and having that diversity of thought put into this industry, because everybody's like, oh, representation matters. It so matters. It so matters to be able to tell different stories. And also, there's so much out there in film and TV and content. Like, the only thing that's going to rise to the top is innovation. And the way you're innovative is to be diverse. I mean, a diversity of thought. And so to see, Becky, really wanting to take more control. That's why I went behind the cameras, because I want control of the final product. And I want to build a pipeline of talent that other people can tap into, so we can give the experience to our community, and they can go off and shoot Star Wars. They can go off and shoot Marvel. They can go off and shoot these. Yes, and Diane's going to write songs for all these films.